Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to this episode of JEC Stories. I'm your host, Sohan Bendre, and also the National Director of Marketing for the Junior Economic Club. Today, I have here with me Rohan, and Rohan, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Rohan Varia. I'm a part of JEC NYC.
Cool, thank you. Could you tell us a bit about yourself? So maybe what interests you have, what drives you, or what inspires you?
For sure. I'm actually currently a freshman at the Riverdale Country School in New York City. I've been interested in business and finance for many years. I'm also interested in community service. At Riverdale, I'm currently a member of the Business and Economic Club and the Zawadi by Youth Club, which is a microfinance organization. I'm also on the tennis and cross country team at Riverdale, both sports that I've been super interested in for many years of mine. In terms of what inspires me, I would say, what I'm passionate about and highly curious about is investing and finance, particularly investing in and learning about highly performing companies, how they operate successfully, and how they operate successfully over time. Yeah.
Very cool. That seems like a very niche interest, and that's really cool. I know you said a bit about the Zawadi by Youth Club, but could you expand more a little bit on maybe what you guys kind of do or like a cool experience you've had with that?
For sure. So the Zawadi by Youth Club is it's a microfinance organization, as I mentioned earlier. And what we do is we have a certain amount of money that we are able to loan out to small companies, usually women entrepreneurs in other countries, foreign countries. And we're able to help get these women entrepreneurs started with their companies by giving out loans to them.
Wow, that seems like an amazing initiative and yeah,
Sure, yeah.
that's really awesome and something that kind of, community service is also a big part of JEC as well. So that's really cool that you're doing that. And then maybe could you think back to the moment you were initially introduced to JEC? What might have motivated you to join like our organization, additional to all the kind of economics and finance related things you already do?
For sure. So I was actually initially introduced to JC through a close family friend of mine, Rahul Kochar, who is currently at Riverdale and has been involved with the organization for several years. I learned from him the various initiatives that JAC has been involved in, from the junior economist, the high returns program, and learning from mentors in finance through various events, learning through mentors actually and students. And all these, events and learning opportunities, they were all super interesting for me.
Okay. Yeah, that's really awesome. And yeah, Rahul's on our national board. He's the vice president, if anyone didn't know. And yeah, I think like just based on what I've heard about your interests, it seems like our organization kind of really aligns with your passions as well. So before we get more into, maybe what your involvement is with the club or what you're excited about learning, do you have any, advice for maybe prospective members who might be going through the application process right now or in the future?
For sure, if I were just to give some advice to prospective members, I would just say be yourself and express, why you may be passionate about finance and learning more about, the Junior Economic Club, but overall just be yourself, I would say.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think being yourself is the most important thing. And the application process might seem a little intimidating with like it seems a little extended with a few like open answer questions, but really there's room in the club for like people with a wide range of interests. There's no like specific thing you need to be interested in. Just like your niche interest kind of in learning about highly performing companies and operating successfully over time. So, yeah, I would say be yourself, and we really look for a diversity of interest and experience in the club.
Yeah, and just to add to your point, actually, I went to the JEC New York City Winter Forum, and I met so many people with different interests. And that's, the thing about JEC is, as you said, they look for people with a wide, variety of interests, and they clearly have accepted so many people who do have those wide variety of interests.
Yeah. Thank you for that add-on. How'd you find that forum overall?
I loved it. We had two speakers who came. One was, I don't remember the specific name, but they were a part of a VC fund, and another woman started their own startup. And, both were super interesting, and overall I learned so much. And not just from them, but also from the students who were there. They, shared their interest with me, and it was just a great learning opportunity for me.
Yeah, and our forums are like really a kind of hallmark of the like organization and the club experience. So I'm really glad that you found that forum really interesting and expanding your viewpoint.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so now like building off of that kind of what else do you look forward to learning in JEC, if there are any specific events or opportunities?
For sure. Overall, I'm excited. I'm excited to learn more about finance in general, from investing, and honestly, importantly, learning from older students, as I mentioned, within JEC and mentors and leaders within finance that JEC brings in for specific events. I'm also really excited about various other activities with JEC, such as the High Returns Program, as well as the Junior Economist. And yeah, all of those events and parts of JEC, I'm super excited to be a part of.
Yeah, I think that you mentioned a lot of good opportunities that JEC have. So yeah, first of all, like learning from older people is really important because they can like give you kind of just a lot of knowledge that you might just not otherwise know and help you like understand how to utilize the club's resources the best. And then you mentioned the high returns program, which for people who don't know, is JEC's like I'd say primary community outreach initiative where we teach financial literacy skills in local middle schools. And then we have the Junior Economist as well, which you mentioned, which is our international publication where like any member can write about any topic related to economics, business, finance, technology, or even other fields that kind of have that interdisciplinary um, connection to careers that we kind of orient our club towards. And that's just a really great way to expand your writing skills and also learn more about the topics you're interested in.
For sure.
So yeah, those are some great opportunities you mentioned. And then, so how might you want to use the skills that you'll learn within JC, through those initiatives you mentioned, or even other things you'll discover, in your future endeavors?
Yeah, I mean, I hope to use the skills that I learned from JEC this year and in future years for both my personal development and learning about a potential future in business and finance, as well as passing what I've learned on to others through programs such as the High Returns program, as you mentioned, to mentors and to teach others.
Yeah, I really agree with the kind of sentiment about passing your knowledge on to younger generations, because that's another thing that we really try to do in the club is keep it, thriving and sustainable for the future generations, because that's really what we're trying to do, which is inspire the future leaders and yeah, passing on that knowledge through high returns or maybe a board position or any other opportunity we have is like really a great main takeaway. And finally, maybe if you had one main insight or piece of advice to give to anyone who's thinking of applying or even current members, maybe what would it be?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say, be extroverted, make sure you talk to as many people as you can, because, what I learned from going to that JEC Winter Forum, so many people, students, especially upperclassmen, know so much about business and finance, and you can learn so much from, your own peers.
Yeah, I think that's actually like a great point about networking. So, one of JAC's like main goals is to really be an accessible club to like any high school student and give you those networking opportunities as long as you have that ambition to go after it and that drive to learn from older students, to learn from your peers, to learn from speakers. And at all our events we have networking opportunities like Rohan mentioned. And I think that's a really great takeaway, whether it's at a forum, an event, or maybe part of even a community initiative you're doing, or an internship that we offer. Networking is always a great way to just expand, the opportunities you have, the knowledge you have. Through JAC is really quite, accessible and um, opportunities that are there for you to take if you really want to. Thank you, Rohan, for coming to interview with me today. I really appreciate all the insight you gave us. And I think you really made some great points about networking and finding those opportunities that really help you give back to your community and give back to younger students. And I'm really excited to see what you do within the club in the future.
Yeah, thanks so much, Sohan. I definitely look forward to being a part of this club for a long time.
Today with Rohan, possibly our biggest takeaway was to pass down your knowledge. To older members, the younger JAC members will really appreciate it as you are their greatest resource. Additionally, we explored a bit into JAC's High Returns Financial Literacy Program and also the International Junior Economist publication. The bottom line is to talk to as many people as you can, peers and speakers within the JAC community, because other people are your greatest resource. Thank you so much for listening. If you found any of this interesting, please check out more information about applying to JAC at the QR code on your screen or at the link in the description. We look forward to seeing you at our next event.